Hey guys, it's Jaden here. I just wanted to go over the car, what kind of mods I have, some of the maintenance items that I've done to the car since I bought it. I bought it 3 years ago. It was a 2020 M2 Competition. So I bought it used. It was 1 year old and had like 20,000 miles on it. It was really clean. So I decided to pull the trigger on it. Ever since then, the car has come a long way, really. I had like 4 different sets of wheels. I really, truly love the car. The way it looks, the way it drives currently. So first of all, I'll get into the exterior and then I'll be able to discuss the power mods, powertrain, suspension, and the interior. So let's go from the front. So the front, I have a lightweight front lip. It's made out of polyurethane. It's really durable. They say it has aerodynamics benefits, but I'm not too sure about that really. The piece is pretty huge, not gonna lie, so it would probably do some good in terms of aerodynamics. The lip itself is really nice because it's made of polyurethane, like I said, and it doesn't scrape too much. As you guys can see, it's sitting pretty far up compared to some of the other lips I had. I had 3D design and I had a CS style lip, both of which sat very low to the ground. So with both of them, I had to be really careful with how I drive the car, but right now I don't really have to angle the car either. Even though the car is sitting, I would say fairly low in the front, I would go like a ½ an inch lower to match the rear. But since the BCs are stuck, we'll talk about that later when I talk about the BCs. Other than that, I've done the wheels. So these are one of the wheels I have right now currently. This one's like an Apex ML10 style wheel that I ordered. So it's a custom offset. The front is a 9.5 ET22. The rear is 10-inch ET35, which Apex does not make, because I wanted to fit a 25 offset wheel in the back because the M2 is narrower in its body than an M4. So those wheels are poking out a little too much with 275s. So these are 19-inch wheels, I forgot to mention that. And I have done polished lips instead of the machine finish Apex ones have. I really love these because it really pops against the black, especially with the gold center. Other than these wheels, I have the stock wheels and also the ZE40s. Those wheels are 9.5 ET20 in the front and 10.5 ET30 in the back. So they poke out a little more than these wheels do, but I run 265, 35, 18s on them. So they do not rub in the rear, but they do rub in the front a little bit. But after I run them for a couple weeks, they self-clear a little bit, so they don't rub as much. Those wheels are refinished in macadamia brown, which is a Porsche color. And I love that color, really. It pops so much in the sun. And it's just a unique color that nobody does on a wheel, on a set of wheels. So these wheels, I run them for the street. The Z's mostly for track or toge, like a windy set of roads, because I run 265, 35, 18 like I said, and those are usually 200 treadwear tires which I can maximize my mechanical grip. So with these, I'm running just the generic Chinese tires because I drift on these and they don't last too long. So whichever tires that are the cheapest works the best. And let's talk about suspension. So I'm running BCBRs, one-way coilovers on this car. I had a set of KWV3s before, but those tend to go wrong after like 30,000, 25,000 miles. The V3s have died on me, so I had to get them rebuilt or buy a new complete set. So that's what I did. I bought a BCBR suspension coilovers because I drove my buddy's ER setup and it was so freaking good compared to my V3s. Although my V3s were on the way out, but they drove so good that I decided to give these a try. But and so far I'm pretty happy with them. When I installed them, the ride was pretty rough compared to the V3, and the roll wasn't as controlled. But now I have dialed in the dampening on those coilovers, so there's zero roll through the corners, and I love the way they drive. Although I will say the coilovers make a lot of noise because of the camber plates that I have, but that's not BC specific or anything like that. And let's move on to the back. I don't have a side skirt or anything in the back. I just have the mud flaps that I made. They're basically TLG mud guards or rock guards, whatever you want to call them. I didn't want to pay for shipping it out to Korea. That's where I live right now. It was like 200 bucks by the time I was getting them at my doorstep. The fitment in the rear, it's pretty good, I would say. I could run like a 5mm spacer, which I am in the front. So I will test it out with my front spacers, see if it rubs or anything like that one of these days. For the front, I'm running two 55/35 19s, which are stock F80 sizes. And I'm running like a 5mm spacer in the front, and the fitment is pretty darn good. So yeah, let's move on to the back. I have a genuine M Performance carbon fiber trunk lid or lip spoiler, which I think it looks pretty good because it's not too aggressive. Some people like to run like those PSM style high kick PSM spoilers, which I really don't like. I had that one before, but that was not my choice. I ordered a more subtle lip, but they ended up sending me a wrong version of it. So I ran it for like a couple years, and now I have the M Performance. Okay, for the diffuser, I'm running rain light diffuser, F1 style, whatever you guys want to call it. Diffuser, I had a MTC style diffuser before, but it wasn't really going well with the PSM spoiler I had, which was too aggressive paired to the diffuser. So I ended up going with these, which are much more aggressive, and they match the M Performance carbon fiber tips. I have exhaust tips on there. So that's pretty much it for the exterior. I don't have a ton of stuff done to it, but I like it clean. I don't like it too out there, too aggressive, anything like that. I just want it subtle, just enough for people to notice that it's not a stock car. But if you know, you know, type of stuff, you know. I don't want to be too aggressive with my daily driver. Let's move on to powertrain. I am running BC coilovers right here. It's adjustable. I took off the top hat, or the cover that's on the top hat, because I wanted to get to these damping adjustments easier. But yeah, I got these camber plates. They're dialed in at -2.2 or 2.3 degrees, depending on which side you're asking. I have these MAD open air intakes. They're not really cold air intakes, as you guys can see. There's no like shroud around it or anything like that, but they sound pretty good. I have them. I had them for a while. They do make the TMAP sensor, or they do make the MAF sensor dirty quite often, so I gotta get that cleaned out. And they do make the exhaust a little louder, as most cold air intakes tend to do. Besides that, I have downpipes, also MAD downpipes. They're one of the very first batch they've ever released on their website. It was when they were a brand new company. I decided to give them a try because they were doing like a 20% discount on top of what they were offering. So that came out to like 200 bucks on a set of downpipes. So far, they've been amazing. The fitment, it's not bad really. The shop told me there was some issue with the diameter of the pipe, but I'm sure they got that fixed by now. But yeah, nothing too crazy. I'm also running equal length mid pipes. I used to run Active AutoWorks single mid pipe for about 2.5 years, or almost, I think it Yeah, I ran the Active Auto Works single mid pipe for 3 years, and I finally decided to change it up because my buddy has an Active Auto Works equal length setup, and I really loved the way that sounded. So I decided to give these a try. These are actually a set of Chinese equal length mid pipe that I got off of AliExpress because some of my buddies also tried it and they said the fitment's pretty good. And it wasn't bad. I still got to fix some exhaust leaks at the bottom, but that's mainly due to me cutting up the pipes a little too much. So we'll get that fixed. But so far it sounds pretty good. And for the muffler, I'm running stock mufflers in the rear, or just a muffler. Just a stock muffler. I still have the valve function and everything, which is controlled by my next point, JB4. So I have JB4 on this car. I had it since almost when I bought the car. So far it's been great, almost no issues. Teddy at Burger Motorsport really does an amazing job with their customer support. So I had him, or I asked him to make me a custom map for the M2 competition because the M2s run stock lower boost than F80s and competition F80s and so on and so forth. So I asked him for a custom map, which he kindly provided me. So it's running about 500 wheel horsepower. It's an amazing car to drive. I think it's just the perfect amount of power before you get into the crank hub issue. I'm still running stock crank hub, and for 3 years I have never had any issues with it. Something that you have to deal with when you go stage 2, E85 or E30, something like that. But I'm running pump gas 93, so I have no issues there. But obviously I don't use the kickdown feature on my DCT. That's something that I have never used and don't plan on using because it puts a lot of strain on the crank hub. Yeah, so now we'll get into the interior and let's talk about it. So, the interior. For the longest time, I've ran the stock seats in this car. I've never had really any complaints with the stock seats. They're amazing, heated, adjustable, they're comfortable. But I set on my friend's Recaro's RSGKs, and they were freaking amazing. The way they supported my body, it was next level compared to the stock seats, obviously. This is a Brid ZETA III. It's the gradation version, which I really love. I feel like it's a JDM looking seat. So when I have the Z's on, you can really see the JDM theme going on in here. It's on Recaro side supports and sliders. So Recaro everything, and the seat itself is Brid. It's not the carbon Kevlar version, it's the fiberglass version, but I really love how this looks. A lot of people have complimented me on it as well, whereas the Recaros, they're just gloss black in the back. It kind of feels plasticky, if you will. I have this Brid little side pocket thing as well. I put my wallet keys in there and it's perfect. And as for the steering wheel, I have a Zestec steering wheel hub. So it's like, I'm not sure if you guys are too familiar with this. I feel like Zestec's really not that popular in the BMW community compared to like a KMP version or JQ Works. But I got these from a Chinese supplier. I got it for really cheap. I think it was like 600 bucks or 700 bucks just for the steering wheel hub itself, which is a crazy deal. If you think about it, it's brand new, but it was like 700 bucks. I have a Renown, I don't quite remember the name, Renown 130R, I believe, with the M tricolor stitching, which matches the stock interior pretty well. I don't really like how thick it is, to be honest, so I plan on getting something thinner and maybe closer to the pedal shifters, because they are kind of far. If you hold it like this, you barely can touch them. I got this turn signal extender as well. I really don't like running this stuff because it looks kind of janky in my opinion, but I really had no choice because the steering wheel is so far away from the turn signal stock that I couldn't reach them. I have the center console wrapped in Alcantara, as well as on the other side and I have this shifter thing. It was not my intention to mimic like a manual transmission, obviously, but since I drift a lot, when my hand is closer to the shifter, it's better. The stock one, I didn't really have an issue with it, but this thing being closer to the steering wheel makes it a lot better for drifting, especially those 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 shifts, or back down to second. A lot of people ask me about this shifter. So this is basically a shifter or an automatic to manual knob adapter here with a generic manual transmission shift lever. I would not recommend going over 15 centimeters. This one's like 5 inches long, and anything longer than that, you would hit it while you're trying to adjust your climate control or trying to get to your phone or something like that. So I would recommend going below 5 inches for your shift knob. Here I have the center thing wrapped in Alcantara as well. I didn't want to go with the M Performance option because it replaces this silver trim with dry carbon that looks like this. At that point, it would have matched the silver trim I have around the center console or center dash. So I did not want to go with that. I like how this all matches right here. Okay, now let me get into the car and I'll explain a little more. AC control stack, it's actually wrapped in Alcantara as well. I did not do that. The center console and everything, I did that myself, but this thing came with the car. The previous owner did it. It's otherwise gloss black, but I think it looks pretty good. Other than that, the interior, I guess I have this thing. It's an F80 mirror compared to the M2 one. It has the navigation or the compass on here, as well as a bigger field of view. I really like it because the stock one, I'm sure you guys know, it's like an oval shape and it cuts off at the bottom. Yeah, the visibility isn't so great on those. And let's talk about the audio setup as well. I have Sonic Design 2577F two-way system on all of my speaker grills. So 2577F tweeters, mid-range, in the rear as well. The tweeter and mid-range is also swapped out. So everything is Sonic Design. They're a Japan-based company that makes speakers for cars, home theater, whatever, right? I don't think they're really popular in the States. I've never seen anyone use them, but in Asia and Japan especially, these are really popular. And they came off my previous car, actually. They, not my previous car, but F10 Daily I had. Shout out to Andrew for that. He hooked me up with that car, really. I also have Match 7 Up DSP. Match 7 Up, or Match Up 7 BMW DSP. The amplifier and DSP setup. It's been fully calibrated by myself with an RTA mic. If you guys really want to see how to calibrate audio, I'll make a video about that as well. So yeah, everything in the car sounds really good. The only gripe I have is the soundstage. The car, I'm sure you guys know, it's kind of small, so you don't hear a lot of that separation from left to right, or that clarity that you get from a bigger vehicle. Oh, I forgot to mention that the car has a flash on the transmission, the DCT, steering wheel, or the EPS, the steering rack, differential, and the traction control system. So I had M2 CS software on there for all those modules. But recently I switched it up to the GTS setup. The GTS setup is slightly better in my opinion, in a way that it gives you a little more feedback. I would say it's a little dead in the center compared to what other people say. Maybe because I'm too used to the M2 CS EPS setup. But the differential is a lot more, it likes to provide a lot more traction. And the MDM as well, it kicks in a little more intrusive in the beginning, but it lets you go a little later. For MDM, I might switch it back to M2 CS just because the GTS one really likes to give you or maximize grip as opposed to giving you the fun you need on the street and on the track. But yeah, for the differential, I really like it. I still have the M2 CS transmission flash. Right now, I want to do the transmission mount because they're pretty toast right now. First or second, it's pretty abrupt and you hear a lot of the clunking noises from the transmission. I actually have a set of Rogue Engineering transmission mount on order. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the car has 58,000 miles. Oh, I forgot to mention that I have the Redline phone mount for the F87 chassis. Ever since I got the car, it's a great mount. It's solid, never had an issue with it. I have a MagSafe charger on there, so it's everything's, the wires tucked away and everything, so it looks pretty clean. I'll show you right here. When I take the phone out, you know, you really can't see the wire. It's tucked underneath the dashboard. And I have this G-Series key retrofit on the car as well. I just got it done like yesterday. It's an M5 CS key. Everything works, comfort access works. Maintenance wise, I've done spark plugs, obviously oil changes, and that's about it. For 58,000 miles, you don't need a lot of major services done to your car. But when you think about it in kilometers, you will want probably to do the DCT transmission fluid flush with the transmission pan removed and everything. I've done differential fluid as well, obviously, but that's about it on the car. I had never had any issues with the car. Drivability wise, it was always something that the previous owner put on the car, like the reverse camera thing, backup camera, the battery, the dash cam, everything like that. But drivability wise, oh yeah, I've done the pads too, the brake pads, but haven't had the chance to, or haven't needed to change the rotors yet. Still going pretty strong, and a lot of tires actually. All right, I'm probably gonna wrap up the video here. Hopefully this answers all the questions you guys had on the car. On my Instagram account, you guys can check me out at the Instagram link in the description below. And thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll probably be back with a lot of more content on this car, which I probably should have made a lot 3 years ago when I bought the car, but it is what it is. I'll be back with a lot more content than just this, so please subscribe, like the video, and see you guys on the next video. Thank you.